Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody had a fantastic trading week. I certainly did not, as you can see from my trading calendar. My name is Eric. In case you don't know me, I've been trading prop firms for 3 years now. And I'm going to go ahead and recap basically my entire week. Usually I would have just done a recap of my trade today, but I thought it would just be easier for me to just go ahead and cover my entire week. Before we go into the actual trades I took and what kind of happened and my mindset and my strategy going into next week, I want to just kind of cover my actual trade journal here and just show you where I'm at, right? So we net P&L here, we're just under 3K. However, I did take a payout. I took a $2,000 payout. So my actual trade balance here, this hasn't updated yet, but it's basically going to be like almost a minus 300 right here. And this is going to be basically at a balance of around $700, which only gives me about $600 left of drawdown in this account. So there were several trades where I go for a 1 to 2 risk reward, but I have a very tight stop. I've been using, and this is what helped me get a payout in 14 days. I trade one ES contract, and I usually have a 5-point stop with a 10-point TP, and I'll go further into this in a second here. But as you can see, this week I just got ticked out constantly. Monday was a legit loss. Tuesday, go check out that video. That was my dumb ass moving it to break even for literally no reason, and it ended up hitting my TP. So that was a frustrating day. Even with my tight stop, that would have worked out. But these 3 days in a row, literally like hit my stop by a tick and then went to my full TP. I also wanted to just show here, I mean, you know, net P&L, like I said, just below that $3,000. We have an average win to loss trade ratio of 1.8. So my wins are still bigger than my losses. We only have a trade win percentage of 50%, which I do like to be around. And then obviously this profit factor is very important. We're at a 1.8. That's why I'm still profitable. I'll be real with y'all. I wasn't going to change my risk reward or my strategy or anything like that. I was just going to go in the next week. If the account blows, then fuck it, the account blows. But I've kind of changed my mind after I had today to kind of think about this. I'm going to go ahead and widen my stop and lower my size. So in the next clips here, I'm going to go ahead and show you exactly how I'm going to do this and why I'm going to do this. And I'll go over exactly each trade and what happened and what my plan is next week. Before we get into the recap of this week though, I just want to let y'all know that I have a free income and expense tracker specifically made for prop firms. I use it all the time. You got to make sure that you're keeping track of your prop firm income and the expenses as well to know exactly how profitable you really are. So that is linked down below. It's absolutely free. I just ask that you please like and subscribe to the video. With that said, let's go ahead and get into my recap. All right, so let's dive right into my trades of the week here. It's just so we can get a better understanding of how I'm gonna move forward and what kind of happened and what went wrong this week and why I went so brutally red. I'm gonna start with Monday, which was August the 11th here, and I'm gonna stay on the 2-minute chart just because that's how I take my entries. This box that I have drawn out here is the 15-minute range. So what I typically wait for, and I don't have the 5-minute chart, but I wait for a 5-minute closure, 5-minute candle closure outside of the range, and then some type of pullback to then just go long. That's how I avoid like getting trapped in like these ones right here. But right here, we did have a 5-minute closure outside of the range. Again, this is just the 2-minute chart. We had a 5-minute closure, so I waited for a 2-minute pullback into the 9 EMA or into the range. But basically, we create a flag, right? And I wait for that to break, and then I usually enter at the bottom of that swing low. So this one was a legit loss. Again, it was a choppy ass day. I think a lot of people took a lot of L's this day. So it came in and literally bottom ticked me right here and then just came and stopped me out, right? But what I'm considering is widening my stop. You'll see exactly why. Next week, I'm gonna move my stop up to 10 points. Now, if I had a 10-point stop on this trade right here, we raise this up, it would have still been an L. So it would have been a 10-point L, right? But it still would have been a legit one. And the crazy thing is you could end up actually taking this trade to the upside there, but I'm still trying to stick to just my one and dones for right now. So that was Monday. That was a legitimate L. That could have been a day where I know a lot of people avoid trading before the CPI day. So now if we go ahead and go into Tuesday, we have the 15-minute range set there. Didn't get trapped down here because we had a 5-minute closure, and then we got the pullback, and then I kind of reset the trade. So I never even entered an order to go down here. Plus I wanted to pass this 200 EMA here, which is the purple line. The green line is VWAP, the blue line is the 21 EMA, and the yellow line is the 9 EMA, just for reference. Right here, we had just a beautiful setup. We didn't necessarily get the 5-minute closure, I remember, but I just like this. We broke, and then we turned back into the range and created that little flag. And it's basically trying to fake people out on this triple top that we had right there. So from here, this was that break even trade that I had that I went crazy on. This was a legit trade, even with the 5-point stop. We went up, we came back down, and my dumbass puts a stop a tick above break even, and I get bottom ticked on that, and then it goes to my full TP. It was the most frustrating day. So took a L on Monday, and then took a break even on this day when it should have been a win. If I had a 10-point stop on this and was going for like a 1-to-1, 10-point stop, 10-point win, of course that still would have won. Now here's where it gets interesting going into Wednesday. We had the break of the range. We had a 5-minute closure out here. I waited for that little flag to form. We got it, right? And then I entered right here, right? And then once I entered, what happened? Bottom tick, boom. Got stopped out here by a tick, as you can see, again. And this was frustrating because what ended up happening? This trade ended up working out. It took a lot of time, took some hours, but it ended up working out. If I had a wider stop on this one, right? A bigger stop where maybe I would go to 10 points, or I would go to 10 points. Not only am I above the green line, the VWAP, now my stop's above the 200 EMA, it's above these other EMAs. That's really hard. If we're going down, like this is really not invalid until we cross back above all these EMAs. So this is why I'm considering moving to 10 points. On that, I would have had a 10-point win, right? All right, now let's look at Thursday. Pretty much the same thing happened here, right? We had the break of the range. We had a nice pullback back into the range and back into the EMAs. And then we had this break of my little trend line back up. However, I could have entered there. Maybe I wouldn't have got stopped out, but I didn't. I wanted to enter up here because I wanted to make sure that we were holding above this 200 EMA. I entered, I get tapped in right here, and then guess what happens? Stopped out again by like a tick or two. How fucking frustrating. And guess what happens? We go and we hit my full TP right here, right? Stopped me out there, went back up, and then it would stop me out there too. Guess what? If I would have had a wider stop, 10-point stop, we would have got the win, right? So this is why I'm next week going to scale down, and I'm going to start going for 1-to-1s, and I'm just going to keep a 10-point stop. And then let's go into today. Once again, same thing happened. Now I did have a trade up idea up here where I could have taken just the initial break because I like the way we formed this and then kind of pumped back up into the range, and we're holding below the EMAs, the VWAP, the 200, everything. So I thought about entering here, which would have been a beautiful trade. It would have went right to my TP, but we didn't. We waited for that 5-minute closure outside of the range, and then I switched to 2-minute. We got my little mini pullback here on this candle, right? And then I liked the way we broke this, right? We broke it right here. So I entered this. Guess what? As soon as I get entered, boom, get stopped out by another tick. You cannot make this shit up. This happened to me 3 times in a row, and this is me using my fixed reward 5 to 10 points. But as I always said in these other videos, I'm like, that can change. You know, depending on the volatility, if it's not working out, then what I have to do? I have to lower my size and I have to widen my stop. It's pretty much that simple. I liked keeping the 5 points, 10-point TP because it was allowing me to have those 1 to 2 risk reward. But unfortunately right now, I have to give myself some more breathing room because I refuse to keep getting ticked out like this. But either way, you know, this would have took forever. But if I had a 10-point stop, we would have got that 1-to-1 and we would have got the 10 points, me targeting basically, because I target these levels, I was targeting yesterday's lows. So that would have been another trade that would have won. Essentially, and especially Tuesday, if I didn't take that stupid ass break even, The only loss I would have had would have been Monday. I would have had 4 wins out of 5 trades this week if I had a 10-point stop. So this is why I am switching to a 1-to-1 risk reward going into next week. Now, again, this can always change, but for me, I realize I kind of got to reset and allow just like a 1-for-1, give my stop a little bit more breathing room and see what the market is doing. And then we can adjust from there, right? Where I could start having more of a dynamic type of stop where maybe I will start moving my stop to like the highs here, right? Like after we form this, like maybe I move my stop there and maybe I move it down again just to like kind of lower that risk. That's an idea. I could also go for more points, of course, as well. There were some days last week where I could have gone for 20 here. I would have only got like 10, right? So you can I can start looking and formulating things like that. But for now, just to kind of get some wins and to scale down and not to go ahead and just blow the account, because that's kind of where my mind was heading, was like, let me just go ahead and keep trading the same way. And if it blows, it blows. No, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and scale down to half the position size. So I was trading 1 ES con. I'm going to trade down. I'm going to probably scale down to 5 micros, right? And basically I'll be risking still that $250 with the 10 points to win $250. So that's how I'm going to go into next week. That is the plan for next week. I did have a course of recording and everything of the day, but I just thought it would be easier for me to just go over the entire week and kind of explain why I went so red and how it happened and my emotionality through it. Trust me, today I almost lost it. I wanted to go on full tilt, but I stuck in there. I got to give myself some credit with that. I didn't go on like a psychological or a mental tilt, right? I stuck to my plan. The trades didn't work out, so we got to make some adjustments. That's what trading is. Like, the market is not perfect. Your stops and stuff like that sometimes have to change. Like, you have to change. So the way I can do that and kind of discover what I want to do next in terms of my risk reward is going ahead, widening that stop, lowering the size, and going for a 1-to-1 for right now. I do preach, of course, having your winners be a lot larger than your losers. But for now, again, I just have to go to that 1-to-1 just so we can kind of see what the market is doing, and then we will make adjustments from there. So that is my plan going into next week. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I think we just hit 20 subscribers, which I'm not gonna lie, is pretty cool. And I love when you guys comment below. I've had some people comment below, and that's where some of my thoughts are coming from too, because I had a guy who was like, I use the EMAs to stop out, like where you have to actually cross the EMAs and close outside of them. And that's usually sometimes a better idea, because you're giving the trade more room to breathe before you completely invalidate the trade. Me having such a tight stop of 5 points, yes, it got me to a payout. It worked really well, you know, going for those 2-to-1s, but you are just kind of, that is kind of just a random fixed reward. I mean, it wasn't random. I was going off of my market experience and what I've kind of realized, but you know, mentally it's not doing well for me right now. To have 3 trades in a row that you get stopped by a tick and then it goes to your TP, like that is mentally draining. So just for my own like psyche and my own just mental health, I gotta go ahead and widen that stop, lower the size, and we'll just start going for those 1-to-1s for now. So again, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the video. I'm gonna keep pumping these out. I got some other cool videos where I want to dive more into my actual strategy and how I trade the orb, as well as some other tips and tricks that I've used to get several hot firm payouts with Apex, and then now, you know, trying to do that with Tradeify. I only got 1 right now, but hopefully this month we can get there again. So again, appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next week.